What it do, YouTube, man? It is your boy Solid back with another solid reaction, and we are finally back, man. It's been a long time awaited, bro. We finally back in the lab, bro. As y'all can very well tell, man, I've been away for a while, man, and I can be honest with y'all and say copyright strikes really got us, bro. So I was up to 2, but we down now, and we better. So we gonna get back to the reactions, bro. I am gonna be doing my normal NBA videos, but now WNBA is popping, so we're going to be reacting to that. We're going to be reacting to just funny videos. All types of stuff is just going to be flying onto the videos. So, man, if y'all don't mind, make sure y'all watch every video I put out, man, because that's how I eat now, bro, because I'm legit taking this full time and really putting my effort into becoming a content creator. Even the vlogs, that is another channel that I'll be putting all the vlogs and gaming stuff on. But this channel right here is directly for me to react to stuff. You know, just crap like that. So we're gonna get into this, man. Today we're gonna be checking out a different type of video, though. We're gonna be checking out that NBA legends explain why Larry Bird was the greatest at his prime, bro. Why he was so hard. So we're gonna go ahead and check this video out, man. I hope y'all guys have been enjoying the couple videos I have been putting out, which was like a month ago. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this one, man. Do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn your notifications on so you never miss another solid upload, baby. Let's get into it. Let's see what we got. I think
he can play, man.
He's going to have to put it up. He does. And hits at the buzzer.
Yes, I missed Bird by a year, but somebody was telling me that Bird was the biggest smack talker in the game.
Bro, I miss watching these videos with y'all, man. It used to be, bro, we used to be up in here every day on the day watching these videos, bro. And it hit me different when I couldn't do it for 2 months. I was like, yo, I know they're not going to want to watch anything else. Let me just wait it out, bro. That's kind of what it was, bro.
This muscle here, the one between his ears, that was his best, you know.
Give me this one. Get it out the net, young buck.
He made the three-pointers.
It's not yet clear. This is a three-pointer.
And he had assists.
Ball by Bird right down
and rebounded.
There's Archibald. Bird. Larry
Good.
Bird. Nice
like, low-key, honestly, since we've been away, bro, I have been checking out the WNBA, bro, and I was like one of the main people saying like, no, bro, we've seen this story 110% before, bro. The reason why I say we've seen it before is this is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson all over again. I know some people don't like Angel Reese. You know, I know a lot of people are like, well, she's tacky and all this crap. I don't think so. I think the girl's playing great basketball at the highest level. I think people just don't like her because she's not Caitlin Clark and she doesn't shoot threes. I love Caitlin Clark, but me and Caitlin Clark is at odds because she don't play defense. So, I mean, I know people probably don't like that comment, but to me, she don't. And to me, that's a big portion of the game. It's not one-sided. And that's one thing that I criticize LeBron James on. I criticize any player on is if you're not playing defense, I'm not going to be a fan favorite of you. I don't like Steph Curry because he won't play defense. So that's just something that I look at. I mean, you have your own opinion. If you go, man, hey, Caitlin Clark's a better player simply because she can shoot threes, simply because I feel like she's a better, you know, passer or a better whatever, that's cool. But me, I've always been a defensive player, man. I love defense. It's always been something that I'm just like, yo, I cling to the defensive side of basketball because it's the dying side of basketball. Does that make sense? If it does, man, you know, you understand where I'm coming from. If you don't and you're like, man, no, you just hating on Caitlin Clark. I'm not hating. I don't get paid I don't get paid. I don't get paid what she get paid. She making money. I can't hate on somebody doing better than me. She doing what she doing. You know, feel me? Like, I'm not even gonna put that in the situation. I just look and say, hey, this is the same story, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. So I look at it and say, okay, so we know Angel Reese is going to have the more how do you say, established career stat line when it comes to like championships and everything. We're going to see that. And then we're going to get the same thing from Caitlin Clark we got from Larry Bird. When it comes to the numbers, just flat out looks better. You get what I'm saying? The numbers look better for Caitlin Clark than Angel Reese. But when it comes to championships and MVPs and stuff like that, it's going to lean more towards Angel Reese. That's just me. But real quick, before we even get into these rookies, man, what bothers me most about WNBA new fans, they don't know anything about AJ. Like, AJ ain't been doing this for decades, like night in and night out, bro. That's where I'm like, okay, y'all just jaw jacking, man. You feel me? Y'all just jaw jacking. Y'all don't know WNBA. Oh, good pass. Give it back to me. Yeah.
He was always at the right place at the right time.
That's that IQ. Huh.
You know, one of the great players, I had the opportunity to play against.
Bird, smothered, goes up anyway.
But I will say this, before I get off the top of the Caitlin Clark now, if Caitlin Clark becomes a monster and starts talking shit, like I'm talking about, we're not talking, every once in a blue moon, some slick stuff. Like I'm talking Larry Bird talk some shit. Yo, I'm telling you right now, I'll be the biggest Caitlin Clark fan if she does that. So don't come to me saying, well, she does that now. I know when she's doing it. She don't do it now. I think Caitlin Clark just staying out the way of the media right now. Larry ain't never ducked media. I'm just being honest. Larry ain't never ducked media.
3 letters that sum up dominance, excellence, and the spirit of reaching the height of individual greatness.
St. Louis Hawks.
Out of the many awards,
bro, that's crazy that they used to be St. Louis.
The MVP award is the highest honor of them all. And out of the tens of thousands of guys who have laced up to play an NBA game, only 36 have won an MVP award. And of those 36, only 9 of them have won the award at least 3 times. And of the 9 players with 3 or more MVPs, only 3 have won the award back to back to back. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and the most recent to do it, Larry Joe Bird. In 1998,
that's crazy to think about that.
With the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird had reached legendary status on the court. He was widely recognized as not only the NBA's most ruthless and fearless competitor, but as the greatest small forward to ever play the game. In '88, Bird was 3rd in scoring at 29.9 points per game, was 1st in free throw shooting and 3-point shooting, and finished 2nd in the NBA MVP vote at 31 years old. But as crazy as these numbers sound, you have no idea just how dominant this man really was. So why not ask the players who saw his greatness up
give me that.
close and personal? Trust me, I don't care how good you think Bird
out the net, buddy.
The man was even better.
But Larry Bird was cold. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him.
That was the first time Bird ever talked trash to me. It was my rookie season, my first game I ever played against him.
What did he say?
Hold on.
He's coming.
Y'all notice he got a big ass portrait of himself behind him. Why he got that? Oh.
On the court, and I'm guarding.
That's kind of weird to me. I would never put a portrait of myself in my office.
Now,
even if I was
upset he made the
president, I would not want that, bro. That's kind of cringe.
The last play, he says to James Worthy, he says, "You guys don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go right over there that corner." He said, "They're going to set a screen for me. We're taking the ball out." He said, "I'm going to curl right over." And he's telling us to play. He's telling us to play before they even take it out. He said, "I'm going to go right over to that corner, and I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be."
Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans. In that game, we're on the free throw line, and he literally says, left side over across the 3, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
Now, as made up and completely fictional as Doc Rivers' Larry Bird story sounds, Doc was actually speaking all facts. And when I say this was next level, I really, really mean it. On March 12, 1985, the reigning league MVP Larry Bird walked into New Orleans to take on the Atlanta Hawks. And apparently, he had a lot on his mind coming into that game. Things you probably wouldn't expect from a white guy with an average physique. And on the other side of the ball was a young and upcoming high flyer by the name of Dominique Wilkins. The same Dominique Wilkins that would go on to become one of the faces of the NBA in the 1980s after Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. But this wasn't just your ordinary Larry Bird game. This was Bird at his very best.
It was a reminder that I'm still kicking. I might be gone. Yo, no, we're not doing that.
Meet today's video sponsor, Odds Jam. Your ultimate bets with confidence to be talked about.
I be sports betting, but no, we're not doing that. I don't get paid for that.
One of the coldest-blooded trash-talking moments you'll hear about in sports history.
Give me that one.
Remember how Doc mentioned that Bird kept shouting, "Who wants it?" each time he came down the court? Well, that moment was so jaw-dropping that the dudes Larry Bird was dropping 60 points on were cheering his shots as they fell. Even as Bird pointed at all the guys on the opposite bench while he scored.
Every time I see this video, every time I see this clip, I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? What are y'all doing? Win, lose, or draw, man. What are y'all doing? Y'all over there doing all of this, acting like, y'all just talking and being wild. what are y'all doing, bro? What are we really out here doing? Are we acting like this because it's Larry Bird? Like, I'd be mad. I couldn't have been a Hawk teammate, bro. I couldn't have been a Hawk teammate. Even if I was a Celtic teammate and I look over there at the bench and I seen him do that, I'd have been like, what are y'all doing? He tearing y'all a new one right now, and y'all acting like this is the game. Like, it's fun. Y'all like to see y'all men get work like this? Ain't none of y'all on the court, but y'all laughing. Come on,
Respecting
man.
them,
Crazy.
they were so in awe of his greatness that they all just kept quiet and continued watching number 33 light it up. I think it's safe to say that we're not going to see a more cold-blooded trash talker ever again in the NBA.
Wow.
I mean, this guy was the baddest white dude to ever lace him up.
Have a play, out of bounds play, I'm taking it out, and Larry says, I'm going to bust off the play, and I'm just going to come out, and I'm going to shoot a three, and I'm like, we're down 2. I'm like, no, don't do that. I'm like, let's shoot a 2, please.
I'm
Go to the hole, try to get fouled. Let's just get into overtime, see if we can't win this game. And Larry says, no, I'm just going to bust a 3 on him. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So he tells the Phoenix bench, he tells the coaches, yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this. And he gets the ball, jumps out, busts the play, comes out, gets the ball at the slot, shoots the ball. As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, told you so. He stops running to the locker room. And it went in. And I just started laughing. I was like, oh, man.
And then you got that arrogant, cocky Larry Bird trash talking all the time.
And was he really arrogant? Was he really, really arrogant?
Well, yeah, he could back it up. So when you're arrogant and you can back it up, you're not arrogant. You're just good. Yeah. And Larry was good.
And yes, he was arrogant. And yes, he absolutely backed it up. In 1984, Larry Bird was
every
at the
time
peak.
I see that shot, that is the hardest shot I've ever seen. And the reason why I say it's the hardest shot I've ever seen is because he's at the baseline, bro. That means the goal is in front of him. So he had to lean backwards to toss over dude's shoulder and direct it perfectly where it didn't hit the backboard and go right past it into the net. Do you know how hard that is? That is a tough shot to make. Those little mid-ranges right there in that area because of where the rim is at. You're behind. It's behind you at this point. So you're shooting behind you.
And Larry was good.
And yes, he was arrogant.
It's just crazy.
Yes, he absolutely backed it up.
Wow.
In 1984, Larry Bird was at the peak of his basketball powers. He was in the midst of one of the greatest seasons of all time. And on one night, 2 unlucky things happened to future NBA Hall of Famer Julius Erving. Number 1, his team drew Bird's Celtics. And number 2, he had to guard the maniac that was Larry Bird. And this matchup got intense. It began in the third quarter when Bird was getting the best of Erving. Bird said, quote, I was up 38-6. That's how I summarize it. I don't want to get into the details, but I wasn't happy with the way things were going. Yeah. That's who Larry was.
Give me that.
Even as he was kicking the behind of one of the game's best players, he still wasn't satisfied. So what did Larry do? Well, he started trash talking Erving, and that's when things got heated. During one trip down the court, Bird and Dr. J got a little tied up. Bird fell to the ground, and Dr. J just kind of trotted back down to the other end of the court. Well, Larry Bird did not like that, so he got up and got in Dr. J's face. According to Danny Ainge, who was Bird's teammate on the court that day, Larry had scored like 35 on him, like halfway through the third quarter, and he was just jogging back down the court and said, quote, man, you need to retire. And it was just like that. Dr. J lost his mind, and that's where that story started. Just think about this. Bird really told that man to retire from his job during a game. He said that.
You know, this is something I always try to, I need to start advocating more for and standing up for. I really think we need to love Dr. J way more than we do. We talk about Bill Russell all the time. We talk about Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. We talk about a lot of the greats, but we do not really talk about Dr. J like we should. We don't put that exclamation on his name because this man, I personally feel single-handedly made the NBA what it is today. Without Dr. J, the NBA didn't see what it could be. When Dr. J is flooding just courts, just outside courts in the Bronx, in the hood, just big people on top of buildings, bing, 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 everybody just out there. Like, Dr. J did that. And I feel like we don't give him enough props. We're like, oh, Dr. J did that. Yeah. Like, but he did this. And that dude did that. And well, Magic did this, and Larry Bird did that, and Michael Jordan did this, and LeBron James did this. Like, why do we not talk about Doc? Doc was tough. Doc was the voice of reason. Like, if I would have been a kid in the 80s or 70s, bro, watching Dr. J, I'd have been like, yo, I don't even want to go play basketball. He got it on lock. I'm going to be Bucky with you. I'm going to keep it a whole stack. I would have been like, he got it on lock. He got it.
In the face of one of the greatest players ever. I mean, the audacity of this man was something else. It ended in an absolute melee with Irving landing a few punches on Bird while he was being held from behind by Charles Barkley and Moses Malone. Barkley tried splitting the two up, but Dr. J had already landed a couple punches, and honestly, I'd be heated too. That was huge disrespect. Anyway, it all ended in both Bird and Dr. J being ejected.
Larry used to always call me Cheesy, right? He's like, Cheesy, who guard me? And I was like, I got Kelly, I got Lamb, I got Benson. He's like, you ain't got no brothers? He's like you. He's like you.
Disrespecting me.
That's what he said.
Straight up.
That's exactly what he said. He said, hey, man, you can't put no white dude on me. Hey, that is straight disrespect.
So all of a sudden, we playing, and I'm D'ing him up, and he slow ball me. That's where I got the slow ball. Put your back to your back like this, and his back was bad during this time. So he went right to that corner, and I'm up on him, I'm under him, and he said, young fella, what did I tell you I was going to do? And he turned around, raised up, we looked around, it was all draws. And I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more.
He was a savant on the court, like just a savant, like 2 plays ahead on everything. And
it's
so,
a chess game.
I was just talking about this maybe 3 or 4 days ago. How hard it was to go into Boston and beat a team when Bird is in his prime.
Dumars is absolutely right. Playing Bird Celtics in Boston was one of the hardest things to do for any NBA team, especially the Detroit Pistons. And I don't know if it was Detroit's nastiness or their grit or trash talking, but there was something about those Pistons teams that brought the very best out of number 33. From 1981 to 82, or Larry Bird's age 25 season, until Bird was 31 years old in 1988, the Celtics were 26-9 against the bad boys in Detroit. And to give that some context, other powerhouse teams like the Philadelphia 76ers were just 22-17 against Detroit during those years. Houston was just 5-9, and Milwaukee was just 1 game above 500 with a 21-20 record against Detroit. But Bird was just different. In those 35 matchups during those 7 seasons, Bird averaged 27.2 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 7 assists. And the next pup that tells you that Larry Bird wasn't anything special or all that skilled, show him this game. November 1985, Bird goes for 47 points, the 6th highest scoring game by a player that season, on 55% shooting and a perfect 13 of 13 from the free throw line. But here's where it gets even more impressive. This dude, Larry Bird, dropped 47 on 0. Yes, 0 3-pointers made or attempted. Can you guess how many players during the past 2023-24 season scored at least 47 points in a game with no 3-pointers?
I can tell you
just
0.
one.
Ooh,
Bird, in a physically relentless era, was dropping nearly 50 points on all mid-range jumpers and by finishing among the trees in the paint. But going back to what Dumars said about Bird's IQ, he wasn't joking around when he said that. Watch Bird here as he seals his defender and signals to teammate Dennis Johnson with his eyes to throw the ball off the glass. I mean, it's just the subtle things like this that made Bird from another planet, you know? And this was the mid-80s, right? 98% of guys were not thinking outside the box like this. Bird knew that if he posted up and called for the ball like most big players do, they would have a mismatch. Detroit's defense would swarm him and probably triple team him. But no, Bird was several steps ahead of the game. It's why defensive juggernauts like Detroit couldn't manage to win more than 9 games in 7 seasons against Larry Bird. But this,
and that's 100%. This is something that I try to tell my daughter all the time is this is where the game is dying. There's no more creativity in the game of basketball. I don't see players trying to be themselves anymore. I just see imitations of other players. You get what I'm saying? Like, There's no creation of anything new. Nobody's locked in on the books. You know, the last player I can think of who really like sits there and knows every rule to the game, who knows every aspect of the game is CP3. But there's no change in this game. And I just feel like it's going in a way where it's just not going to last long. It's not going to be fun much longer. It's not. It's really not. You can tell just because the simple way is we got players who are just the same entity as the next player. You know, like I'm looking at teams and I'm going, man, y'all basically got the same team. You know, oh, that's a good matchup. That's a good matchup because they're the same player. That's just like that's what it's coming down to. I don't really see any player as being different. I mean, we do have Wemby right now. Maybe he might be something new to the league, maybe something different. But I see players playing the exact same way. There's no creativity in the game anymore. There's no, I'm going to figure out how to do something myself and do something different here. You know, let me take the sham guy and double pull it. You know, like you don't see that. You don't see nobody trying crazy stuff. And that's what's killing the
Larry
league.
Bird
Really,
game.
it really
Nearly
is.
40 freaking years later.
They too
doesn't
worried
get
about
talked
themselves
as much
and not
as
the
it should.
team. That's more or less.
We had a top 11 defense in the Atlanta Hawks on their home court versus Larry Bird.
And
Number
I understand
33
rightfully
by
so why they
himself
not, but
outscored the other four Celtics
I be
starters
talking, bro.
combined.
I just be saying what I
And
feel.
similar to the
Be
theme of
honest
his
with me.
47
Give me that.
against Detroit, Bird dropped 60 on just one three-pointer. Now, throughout NBA history, there have been 89 instances of a player having scored at least 60 points in a game. And incredibly enough, 7 of those 60-plus point games happened just
Pull
this
that
past
one.
season.
Give me that too.
But of the 89 times a 60-point game has happened in history, only
Give me that one
49
too.
times has it happened with a player making either just one or no three-pointers at all.
Bloater.
Which you're probably thinking sounds like a fair amount, right? Well, if you take out Mr. Broken Record himself, Wilt Chamberlain, who had 32 of these 49 games, that number drops to only 17. So Wilt Chamberlain notwithstanding, only 17 times in NBA history has there been a 60-plus point performance with a player making no more than one three-pointer. So Bird's 60 in 1985 is far more impressive than you probably previously thought.
When I'm shooting the basketball,
Right.
that's got to be intimidating.
Hands,
For me,
bro.
I like that because I knew the pressure was on them more than me. I mean, I just looked there. I was really just teasing. I looked around and everybody was looking at me. I go, who's coming in second?
Bird in the corner, double fake, jumper.
I don't think me and Coach and I would have had a problem because I never had a problem with my coach.
3 seconds, 2. Bird, a runner. It's good.
Can you have a
You
problem
guys are
with a
champ.
star player? Like with a player of his caliber, can he have problems? Like as a coach, this is how I look at it. And this is from a coach point of view. If it's a star player and they're doing stuff that they do and it works and it's not causing harm to the team, even if it ain't what I want to run, even if it ain't the scheme that I like, even if it ain't, something that's perfect, I'm going to let them play their game. I'm going to let them play their game because whatever their game is, it works. And if I try to push them into a box, it may destroy what they've already created. I'm not doing that. I could not live with myself knowing that's on the board. No.
You guys have won at the highest level.
Let me tell you, Rich, I don't think about the wins. I always think about the loss. Okay.
Yeah. Moves it to Bird, a runner. It's good. It's good. And the Celtics win it. Bird hits in the Celtics.
So see Kevin there? He's talking bad about you. What? I said, Kevin, tell him what you told me. He goes, what's that? I said, you're going to kick his butt tonight. He goes, hey, Alvin, I'm going to kick your butt tonight. Kevin's a rookie. Stuff like that.
Bird working. He's triple teamed. He leans in. What a shot by Larry Bird on the baseline.
I always knew how good I was.
Right.
I didn't care what you thought of my game, Al.
Yeah.
But I knew in the majority of the games I played with the team I had, we're going to win most of them. So I had that kind of confidence.
That's right.
I like that it's open because guys can show more of their skills. And the shooters will always be shooters.
Top of the key, Larry. Spins, drives. Got
You see, the fundamental difference between some of the greatest players of all time, like Kareem, Magic, Duncan, LeBron, Steph, and many more, versus Larry Bird, is that other players greatly respected these all-time greats, but they were downright haunted by the thought of playing Larry Bird. I
don't know. Y'all let me know, man. Do y'all feel like that's true? Do y'all feel like people just disrespected Larry Bird during his time, you know, in the league? Because from my point of view, from what I've always been told from my subscribers, from other people, Larry Bird was, he was that guy. Like it was him and Magic. It was them two. It was no disrespect given to them two guys. Yeah. I would have said, I don't know about that. I would have said the only difference between Larry Bird and these guys is that Larry Bird was more aggressive. Magic Johnson wasn't, you know, like the most aggressive player or the more egotistical player. Larry Bird was. So was Kareem, egotistical, but he wasn't as egotistical as Larry Bird. Tim Duncan's a quiet soul, man. He don't care. He ain't trying to get no drama, no nothing. Larry got him beat there. LeBron James is friendly with everybody. Larry Bird ain't. You got it take a real hooper to be cool with Larry Bird. And there's only one on that list that I know for a fact that he cool with, which would be Magic Johnson. Outside of that, everybody else here, they don't got the same ego as Larry Bird. That's what I would say. That he walked around with a chip on his shoulder, even though people respected him. That's what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm saying?
Intimidated by guys like Kobe and Jordan, but they are in awe of Larry Bird. I mean, among the thousands of players who have ever played the sport of basketball, they unanimously see Bird in a territory, a space, a breath of his own.
Fair.
Of all the players you've heard from, whether they competed against him, watched him play, or even played with him, they were all in sheer amazement. All of these players competed at the highest level. All of them reached massive success in the NBA, yet none of them see Bird as their peer. They put him in his own category. And truly, there will never be another Larry Bird in the NBA.
Not being guarded, it goes to Bird. Bird up fake, Bird takes the shot. It's gone! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it!
All right, that's it for this one.
All right, man. That is the end of this video, man. If y'all guys did enjoy that video, man, do me a favor, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you never miss another solid upload, man. With that being said, bro, I'm back. We rocking with another one. I'll see y'all in the next video.